Pochita and Denji working together to take down a devil is a team up I never realized I wanted, but it feels so satisfying to see. Even though you could argue they are on two separate planes of reality right now, the fact that they are telepathically connected and just participating in the fight in their own ways is just beautiful to me. Especially when we think back to part 1 and how Pochita was this being that was so powerful and so strong, he was never able to really create an emotional connection with someone, not even be able to share affection, like give someone a hug or get one in return. So the amount of trust that this executioner of hell has slowly formed in this half-witted, horny-ass high schooler is just beautiful to me. And vice versa, the kid that barely had any relationship with his parents before they died, was raised by a neglectful and abusive group of Yakuza members, even after that, getting betrayed by almost every single person around him, and the people that didn't betray him all died. The fact that Denji can always come back to and find comfort in this supremely powerful devil that even the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse want to stop, it's always good knowing that no matter what happens, Pochita will be here with Denji. And while that is a very obvious thing that was brought to our attention the last couple of chapters, this lesson we already know is what picked Denji up and reinvigorated him to continue the fight. But I really want to focus on is just the symbolism of their teamwork really shines through brighter than the dialogue we've had in the recent couple of chapters ever could. By seeing these two characters really do their best in their own way to take on the aging devil together, honestly, if you really think about it, the crazed man calling Denji a devil makes sense. Because the only people that have done the most damage to Denji, at least the most malicious and cold, calculating malice, are human beings. Mankind, as we know, can sometimes match and even exceed the evil of the devils that the world fears. So when the crazy man in the aging world does compare Denji to a devil, it might be the most apt comparison. The crazy man claims that Denji is just so young, under 20, he couldn't possibly understand what all of these millennia-old trees have been through. By trying to escape for thousands of years and eventually unlocking the second stage of man's evolution, he claims these trees have reached the truth, and Denji is taking that away from them. By slaughtering and eating these trees, Denji's disrupting thousands of years of enlightenment and meditation. And as someone that, again, hasn't even hit the age of 20, Denji can't possibly understand what these people have been through to get here. However, Denji immediately counters this line of thinking with his usual big-brained personality, saying that the trees should just be thankful because Denji is appreciative of the sustenance they are giving him, and he's eating them with gusto or passion. It's all for a good cause. Denji believes, and how he justifies it is, you know what, these trees would probably forgive me and want this if they weren't trees and were capable of forgiveness. And to be fair, I kind of agree with Denji here. Regardless of this tree form being the many lunatics who have tried to escape the inevitability of the aging world, at the end of the day, these trees, these people have remained stagnant this whole time, to the point that they're not even moving, breathing, or maybe not even coherent at this moment. Without age, without things like change, people don't grow. It could even be argued that these people became trees not because they reached enlightenment, but because their bodies as people and their minds devolved. They lost pieces of their humanity until they became something else entirely. And sure, plenty of religions would probably argue that this is the correct path to spirituality and eternal life and greatness. In my opinion, we should never strive for perfection. We should strive for progress, because progress continues on forever. Perfection is the end. Perfection is the lack of pursuit, the absence of growth. Perfection, in my opinion, is lonely. It's boring, and it will always and forever be the same as it was before. By eating these tree people and changing them into energy for Pochita and Denji to fight against aging, this is honestly the most importance any of these trees have probably had in millennia to really any event or situation. These trees are stuck here. They can never escape. But if Denji can use them to make his own escape, then that at least gives them some actual meaning. It might not be for them, but the fact that they can help someone else is more than they're doing right now. Right now, they're forever left to stand idly with no death or even end in sight. So maybe being eaten is the better fate, because at least now, after being eaten, these trees will be able to rest. If trees truly are the correct and proper evolutionary path for us humans, the crazy man could, in his own sense of insanity, be right, and Denji is denying their truth by sacrificing them. But again, Denji has all the strength and all of the means to assert his own truth much more than any of these trees do, which is ultimately what matters at the end of the day. And if that makes Denji a devil, then so be it. All that means is Denji's growth, his progress, will continue forward. And when the teenager finally does realize his truth, the missing piece that leads to his evolution, it's not gonna be in the aging world. Because after learning that loss is just a part of life, Denji refuses to remain stagnant like these trees. He chooses to look onward, searching for the next family member, the next love, the next girl, whatever he can do to replace the void that is left empty by the loss of others, the next meal to fulfill his hunger, which has always just been the main lesson of humanity in life. Continue moving forward. If anyone has lost grasp of the truth, it's these prisoners of the aging world. Which only proves that if Pochita was to actually eat the aging devil, it only brings humanity closer to ruin and destruction, rather than being some kind of glorious evolution that public safety is looking for in hopes of combating the incoming apocalypse. And back in the real world, while Pochita does the good fight, the aging devil is using all of his power he has left to try and stay alive. And I honestly, my one question is, I don't know why they couldn't just put my man in a regular chair. Why does he have to sit on top of this old dude? The only guy who was willing to listen to Aging Devil when he told him to stomp on Pochita's heart when it dropped onto the floor was the one he was sitting on. Everyone else is fucked up. You just stole their livers, their eyes. I mean, come on, man. Think about this before you start fighting and wasting your sacrifices. Because they're so slow, Denji's able to rev that engine and recreate Pochita from scratch, tearing the Primal Fear into 2 pieces, even though Aging Devil does regenerate right after, and claims that Pochita will not be able to kill it with ordinary means. Which Chainsaw Man's big pull is the fact that after eating the devils, they are erased and killed. And since Pochita has to not eat the Aging Devil, we're kind of at an impasse here. No matter how many times Pochita slashes the Aging Devil in 2 or cuts off his head, Aging will just regenerate. But again, we cannot forget, this isn't a 1v1, it's a 2-on-1. And this is exactly what I mean by saying the teamwork behind this duo is pure cinema. Because when one is backed into a corner with no way out, the other steps in to help. 2 characters that complete each other into making one whole. Denji has the bright idea to start barfing up devils again, but to vomit up a devil that will give them the advantage they need to counter the Aging Devil specifically. What could this devil possibly be? Considering Pochita threw up most of the devils he already ate in the recent fight, I have to assume that the devil Pochita is gonna eat is one that he's eaten long before in the past. It may even be a devil that we haven't seen or aren't familiar with, long forgotten to time. Some fans in the community are already speculating that it could be the return of the nuclear war devil, as was foreshadowed early on in part 2 that war was going to make Chainsaw Man vomit up nukes. And while that may be the answer, it would also give Yoru a significant advantage for the future. And while Denji and Asa are on the same side, I'm not sure how Pochita feels about Yoru, the person that he was literally just fighting against before. But knowing Fujimoto, it could be a completely different devil that we may never even be able to expect. I mean, imagine the Denji, Chainsaw, and Nazi devil team up. That's the ultimate trio we've been waiting for. I'm just kidding. But honestly, again, I've been loving Chainsaw Man recently, and with Fujimoto being so unpredictable, we really don't know what the heck could be coming up next. But I know I'm going to be here for it every single step of the way, covering every chapter, making reviews on it. So if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you not only hit that like button to show the YouTube that you enjoyed, but also subscribe so you don't miss any future Chainsaw Man videos, reviews, or any other series that you may read weekly or monthly. You want to keep watching some content and you got some more time to kill, I do have some more stellar content on my main channel right over here. For some reason I always forget where the pop-up is going to be on screen. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.